Originally, we started SMAX when I was working a insurance job, which I really hated. And we were always trying to figure out, and my wife Carinna, she was waiting tables. And it was about 11 years ago, we were having our morning walk, and I asked her about the idea of taking photos of kids and making fat heads out of them. My idea is to go to the tournament, hire the photographer to take the photos, then we show the photos right after the game and have parents come in and buy the photos, and we print big fat heads of the kids, and that was the original idea. I figured I'd try my hand in photography, and that started working. I actually had an eye for it, which I had never picked up a camera before, so I had no idea that I was going to be any good at it. So.
And I thought you were crazy.
Yes.
I told you wouldn't have an eye for
it. Right. Yeah, most everybody said that you just can't pick up a camera and start taking photos.
No.
And we really did some research and trying to figure out what kind of, we never wanted to do individual photos. We were like, or volume team photos. We're like, that's terrible. That's not as fun as action. Why would parents ever want to do that?
Right. Well, and also what we had seen is that it wasn't very good.
We had a pretty good reputation, but if we were going to go into that market, we didn't want to have the same old photos. So we had to figure out a way to compete with the established companies out there. So we started using flash, and we went to a few trade shows, and we really figured out how to do it on a volume basis. But still, we were very new, and we had nobody to really. They're all our own ideas, which in hindsight it was really good because we were completely separate from any of our competition.
We have very different personalities, and whatever is our strong suit, that's what we stick to that. So I do one portion of the business, and Jay won't step foot in there because he knows what will happen if he does.
Right.
But then likewise too. So like he does all the individual photography along with Scott, who's our other main photographer. I don't step foot into that because I don't want to mix those. Still, first and foremost, we are a husband and wife team. So I want to like him at the end of the day, and likewise. So I'd be in contact with the league director, making sure they had their order form, which at that point we'd always have to make sure that if there's 100 kids at the shoot, we'd have to have 100 pre-printed copies, though, actually at the shoot, because that's when the parents fill out the order forms finally. And then from that point, the paper order form goes to the photographer, which at that point we pose them up, we write the image number on the order form, the parents go home. We take the paper order form back with us. It gets turned into us. It doesn't go back home with the parent, and it gets turned into us. And from there, we just have to make sure there's no mistakes on it. Any type of mistakes is going to cause a discrepancy in their order. But then on the back end, we're picking out the exact image it is that we need to match up on the order form, and then from there, we're scanning the order form and then submitting it to the lab. So that's all the steps that are happening with this paper order form, and it's going through many different hands. There's a lot of errors. There's a lot of points that there can be an error with that order form. So with PhotoDay,
all that back end work going from being related to paperwork, then over here with PhotoDay, we could go take the photo and spend all that time and man hours of having 2 or 3 or 4 images for the parents to look at, and all of our time is based on getting the photos right rather than getting paperwork right. That's what's so exciting about PhotoDay.
You know, with PhotoDay, the great thing about that is that if the parent is opting in, basically, once the images are online, then they're able to look at the pictures, and at that point, they're starting to own it. Right? They're looking at their image, they're thinking of whatever it is that they're going to do with this image, if they're going to purchase or not. But at that point, they're starting to take a little ownership into it. Yeah, putting images online is just difficult because you can't get the parents to the website. And then they look at the website and they're like, maybe I'll just do it later, or I don't know. There's no really sense of urgency. There's no promotions, and it's hard to keep up with a website too.
We've used SmugMug, and we've also used Shootproof.
Mm-hmm.
Shootproof SmugMug was just really difficult. The back end was difficult to post photos, and just figuring out their whole system was tough. So ShootProof was a little bit more user friendly. So we thought that might be the next next way to go as far as getting more of our leagues online. But we still just had the problem of people actually following through and placing the orders. Even if they could find the website, they got there and then nothing would happen. The sales just were nowhere close to justifying posting all of our photos online. It just wasn't feasible.
There was some hesitation at first. Yeah, I was a little skeptical just because we've been through the whole online thing, but the further in and with the technology and there's like little nuances in it that are just so much better, that make so much sense. It was definitely interesting just to first hear about it.
I definitely
super
had,
interesting.
I was fully skeptical.
Yeah, because I pulled you aside and I told you, and you're like, I don't know, and I was like, no, but
I've learned, we've been married for over 20 years, so I've learned when she decides something's a good idea, that it's worth me taking a look at it. I definitely think it's going to happen. It's just going to it's going to be a slow process, meaning that maybe next year, we've already experimented in 2018. Every shoot we've done has been, we've exceeded our expectations with PhotoDay. So all of our new leagues and all of the leagues that we don't have to give rebates back to, we're going to switch to PhotoDay. So that might be a certain percentage, 15-20% in 2019, and then hopefully in the fall we'll have more confidence and we'll switch to more accounts. And then it might be a 2-year process before we actually get all of our existing customers to the PhotoDay system. But it's going to happen because we also feel like that the 3 and 4 year olds, there's more of those than ever, where it's really growing, and those parents are younger and they're going to be more familiar with a online ordering system. They're going to be more familiar with smartphones and how to operate. So it has to be done. It's just a matter of time before everything switch over to where people are going to want to order on the phone or online. Okay, so if I was a new photographer or advising somebody who's just getting into the business and they want to use PhotoDay as their selling platform, first things first, to make sure you take quality photos, because the parents are going to be seeing your images before they buy, rather than traditional paperwork where you can have a subpar photo and you still have your money up front. But a new photographer does have an advantage where it's a new photographer, there's no expectations, so you can kind of set the precedence with this is a new photography company and this is how we do business. And it's new, innovative way, and you can even sell off that, meaning that we're not going to make you spend your money up front. We want you to see how great our images are, and then you get the opportunity to buy. So that would be, a big advantage. And also another big advantage to a new photographer is that they will be able to take multiple poses of kids to give them that chance to get the extra revenue, where traditional paper order forms, you only get one photo, so you can't do a smile, game face, tight crop, wide crop. So there's a lot of advantages starting straight off with PhotoDay rather than paper order forms. We started our first job with exclusive PhotoDay was with an established league, and then we compared it with another league that is about 10 miles down the road that we always do fall photos for. And we did an average order was about $20 higher with PhotoDay, and we actually outperformed the established fall PhotoDay league. So we were real happy with that. So the things that I might do differently as far as our PhotoDay shoots that we've done is just making sure that I've done everything I can marketing-wise before the shoot and after the shoot, and being very organized with how things are going to go. And also the back-end technical support, making sure that when people have a hard time ordering online, that they have a easy way to give us a call and walk through the technical aspects of ordering to make it easy for the customers.
It won't really change too much for me, but I know in my office I have dedicated people who we pay full-time to go through those order forms. So for me, that's going to be huge, is that I'll be able to take my workload that I have with editing, because everybody's trained on how to edit, and that now instead of us going through the order forms, we're going to be dedicated to just pretty much editing pictures that the parents are going to want.
100% in 2019, we want to use Photo Day more. I mean, that's one of our biggest goals, I think, in 2019. Making sure that we're kind of in between equipment like we usually are as far as photography gear goes, so we want to standardize that. But we want to integrate Photo Day as much as possible, because I see it opening up either opportunities for us to get more leagues or opportunities for us to go to the lake more.